Kohler staggered down Highway 7, somewhere south of Rocky Mountain National Park, in a radiation suit she had constructed out of garbage bags. A pair of ski goggles and a scarf shielded her face, but she was all too aware that they wouldn't be enough to block the radiation drizzling from the skies. A nuclear blast had almost blinded her 3 nights ago, and the fireball had set fire to the surrounding forests. All around her were views of the apocalypse. Blackened evergreen trees swayed in the wind to the northeast, carrying the scent of burning pine needles. Flames engulfed an entire forest to the southwest, filling the sky with a wall of black smoke that choked out the sun. When her car stalled out on the road, she'd been stranded. The National Guard soldiers had told her to stay put and wait for help. After 2 days, she decided to take action. Waiting meant dying. Running at least gave her a chance to reach help before it was too late. Martha's heart had been firing out of control since she had left her car. As a doctor, she knew what irradiation did to a human body. She had done everything she could to keep the radioactive material off her skin, but there was little she could do to stop breathing it into her lungs. A flimsy cotton scarf was no replacement for a CBRN suit. The deep rattle of a cough rose in her throat. The sound seemed to echo in the quiet afternoon. She licked her cracked lips, desperate for a drink of water. A stream snaked along the left side of the road, but drinking the water would be a death sentence. She slogged along, searching for supplies or someone to help her. She hadn't seen another living person for 3 hours. Before that, a man had run from her, screaming nonsense about an alien invasion. Delirium was another sign of radiation sickness. For now, Martha's mind seemed whole, but if it wasn't, would she even know? She'd seen plenty of bodies on the road over the past few days. Another victim lay ahead. The elderly man was on his back, hands twisted like a praying mantis. A second corpse, rigid from rigor mortis, lay a few feet from the man. The gray-haired woman was facing him, curled up in a fetal position. They had died within reach of one another. At least they were together, Martha thought. She'd lost her husband to a heart attack 10 years ago. Regrets surfaced in her mind. They always found a way of coming to a head when disaster struck. Things she would have said or done differently during their marriage. She sighed and pressed onward, even though stars were bursting before her vision. The journey was taking its toll, and she was only halfway to Denver. The soldiers had said to head that way to avoid radiation, but the bodies here told her she was still in the middle of the dead zone. Reaching out, she steadied herself on the side of a minivan. Over the howl of the wind came a faint, scratchy sound like someone was trying to clear their throat. Something moved inside the van. Martha peered inside the back window. 2 small figures were huddled together in the back seat. A body was slumped against the steering wheel, and judging by the pale, blistered skin on its exposed arm, the kids were probably orphans. She had been careful to avoid other people on the road. If anyone found out she possessed potassium iodide pills, which she carried in her medical bag, they would surely take them from her, maybe even hurt her to get them. But these kids weren't going to hurt anyone, and she couldn't just leave them here to die. She scanned the road again. There was motion down the highway to the east, directly under a bridge. Several clusters of bodies rested beneath the overpass. Loose clothing rippled in the wind, but there was no sign of anything or anyone alive that way. Satisfied, she opened the van door. The 2 kids reared back from her, their curly brown hair a disheveled mess. "Don't hurt us," the boy sniffled. Martha pulled down her scarf and pushed up her goggles so they could see her eyes. She could only imagine how terrifying she probably looked with the garbage bags covering most of her body. From a child's eyes, she probably looked like an alien. She summoned the same calm voice she used with kids at the beginning of a pediatric visit. "I'm not going to hurt you. I'm here to help." "Can you help our papa?" the girl asked. "Your father is sleeping," Martha lied. She pulled a piece of duct tape away from her waist and reached to retrieve the bottle of pills from her pocket. "I'm Dr. Martha Kohler, and I'm going to..."